Hello everybody, this is Carol from Friendly Quill saying hello. I was planning to sew some signatures into this journal today, and I thought I'll just turn on the camera in case anybody wants to see how it's done. There's a lot of videos out there with this, and if you're experienced, you already know how to do this. But I thought, well, there might be some beginners, and so I'll show you how I do it. This is the the side page text that I made last time, and I wanted to show you that I did put buttons on the decorations. So I have one for each journal of the two journals that I'm making. It's that 6x6 piece of paper, cardstock folded in half, and the little pocket on one side, just decoration. It's a tuck on both. So you'll see those in the journals when I do the final flip through. But for now, I'm going to start with this. I made myself a graph paper template, and I have the middle. This is where I'll poke the holes for the signatures. And I have these outer ones here, which are 1/2 inch apart, where I will sew in each of my two signatures. So the first thing I do is I make sure, and I measured like this to make sure that it was in the middle, that line was in the middle and still on when I clip this on. So it is. So I'm going to poke some holes. And with my awl, and I have like a phone book underneath it, I try to go straight down, and I make sure that it came through on the other side. I usually go back in there because it pokes it in, and it's a little bit better if that isn't stuck on the outside. It wears on things. It doesn't look as good. So I am doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So I am going in. Whoop! Sorry about that. From the other side then. That one I poked a little bit more. All right. The next part. Well, yesterday and the day before, we took down Christmas decorations. And I have a lot of Christmas decorations. The only thing I haven't put away yet are my Christmas dishes. Today I helped my husband take the lights down off the house. I basically stand guard by the ladder. And sometimes with fabric, this is harder. Make sure that he's not going to fall off. I hang on to the ladder. Okay. Now inside, in the middle of this, I've got to figure out where that hole is. In the middle of this, underneath the fabric, I did it again. I'm so sorry. Is an envelope, a 9x12 envelope, and then I put tie back on here to make it really strong for when I sew in the signatures. And I did, on this one, I used tie-back tape because it was easy to just tape it right on there. Sometimes I use tie-back that I have to glue in, but I have tie-back tape. It's expensive, but I'm still using the original one that I started with on my very first journal, and that's been 3 years ago or something like that. I don't use the same stuff on my hardcover journals, but I do use it on my soft cover journals. Okay, now that I have the holes in here, I will put my next step is to put the holes in a signature. Now, the first thing I do before I put any holes in is I line everything up. And I flip through and make sure, this is my top, so I make sure if there's any writing or anything that needs to be up, that I have it in the correct way. I did put some of the things in. This is that trifold that folds out. And that makes it a little harder to sew it in. But that's just easier to put it in when I've got it out of the journal. So see, here's writing, so I make sure this is the top. And I just kind of line everything up, make sure everything's good. Got this one in the right direction. Okay, and then this is going to be the middle. And I make sure I kind of push everything into the center. And I put a clip on here. And a clip down here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is put this in again. And I have to let one of these stick out. I do have it marked top, but I have to leave it stick out 1/4 inch because I made it to fit the cover. So that means it should stick out 1/4 inch on this side, which it does. Okay, whoops, but I don't think I have it in the middle. There we go. Okay. Actually using a smaller awl to do this, but for these, if I can, I like to do it kind of from the side like this, so I go into where it is, and I want to make sure it's going to come out right on the side of the signature, so I watch for that. And it's easier if I fold it to get it in the right spot. Okay, and there we go. All right. Then don't forget to take this out. You have to use it to do your holes in your other signature. And then we're ready to sew in. You take, this happens to be waxed linen. You can use anything. Waxed is easier. I've used baker's twine and even some other yarns and things. But, you know, you want it to be really strong so it doesn't break. And wax is really easy to do because you can get it in place and it won't slip. So I'm putting this into, I guess basically it's a tapestry needle. Whoop, I didn't get that all in there. You need something, of course, with a hole big enough, but this one's, there we go, got it. Now there's several different ways you can do this. I happen to like to start in the middle, and I go through, and this is my second signature. I like to start at the back rather than the front, and I go all the way through and come out this side. Okay, now you don't want to pull that through. Sometimes I put a little clip on it or something to hold so I don't go all the way through, but I am going down to go down to the bottom. And I gotta find that hole, and then the hole in the signature. And make sure, keeping it lined up with with the clip usually helps this along, but I don't know, today it's just not wanting to go through all the way. I might have to take that off. Go through. There we go. Okay, now I pull it so it's tight on the outside, but I'm going, uh-oh. I went in the wrong hole. Back again. I went in the hole for the front one, not the back one. Rather catch it now than after I've got the whole thing in. Tell you that. Sorry. Let's see. I'm going to just clip this off again to get it through here easier. Okay, I'm in the back hole. So I have to be in this one. And then through here. Okay. So now I've got it like pulled here, but I will tighten that up more later. Okay. Then I'm going to go all the way up here and go through this top hole. I'll go through and into the back. Now you could come through this one, go down, you know, and then come up through this one. You can do it that way too. I've done it both ways. Then I come over to where it's going through in the middle and I wiggle it through, making sure that I am not going through the cord that I've already done. Okay, now I have to get this nice and snug. So I'm going to pull this snug, and then I'm going to pull this through here, snug, and then up snug. I'm going to be doing this, but what I like to do is come on this side and see, does it snap kind of like a guitar string or something. Now I'm going to tie this so it catches the middle, tying a square knot, right over left and under up, and then left over right, or vice versa, and under up, the opposite ways. And now this is going to hold. On these, I like to put a little charm or something. Sometimes I put two of them together, and I put one charm on. Sometimes like this time, I'm going to put two on. So I'm going to tie a square knot to tie this on. Happens to be a little key charm. You can leave them hang out the bottom if you want. I usually have mine inside, but you know, it depends what you're doing. And then this one, needle won't fit through, I know that. I've got a little tiny brass bell. Doesn't really ring. Nope, doesn't ring. But it's cute. And I'm going to put that so it's above this one. Tie it tight. And do the square knot. Now with the wax stuff, this will not come undone. With the square knots and the nice waxed thread. If you don't use wax thread, you have to be careful that it is done. So now I've got the first signature in. So I have the second signature, I've already lined it up. And I'm going to put this in where I need to poke the holes. Okay. Okay. making sure that it's a 1/4 inch on the top and the bottom. Sometimes I cut that off, but I was using this for 2, so I didn't. Okay, let me poke my holes. Make sure it comes out the middle. There we go. And there. Okay, 3 times. I always have it a little bit more, but 3 times usually does it for this. Or a 5-hole pamphlet stitch works, 3 times works as well. So I'm going to put my thread in. And that time I got it. Okay. Now, going through the center, and then find your center hole. Put that through. Just be consistent with whatever way you're doing that. Okay, now I gotta find it. Kind of closes up in fabric. It's a little harder to tell where it is. Maybe I'll do this. Stick it through so I can see. Okay, it's right here. All right. And now into the signature. Pull it fairly snug. And go all the way up to the top. And through the signature and out through the book. And then in through the middle. Try not to go through the thread. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to snug this up. I'm going to put one on each side too, so I tie the knot over it. Snug this one up. Pull it through snug to the outside of the book, and then in snug. Before I tie the knot, I check. Is it tight? Yes. And then I'm ready to do my square knot. Left over, right, and under. Right over, left, and under, up. And that signature's in. Okay. Got a key. And that's in. And then my little bell. Up here higher. You could tie this just in a bow. You don't have to use charms. I just kind of like it. I think it's a nice surprise when you get to the middle of the book. Okay. There we go. And the signatures are in. You can see them on the back here. They're all nice and tight. And it's ready to get the cover put on. I'm going to kind of open it up like this. Let me see how much time I have. Oh, I didn't realize I still had it awful goofy. When I bumped it with my hand, I'm sorry. I try. Okay, on this one, I'm going to put a doily, and I'm going to have it go onto the back from the front, but I need it up higher to the front. And then I'm going to be putting this on, and what I did is I glued some fabric onto the back of this so it just sticks out and kind of gives it a little frame. And that's going to be going on here. And then I'm going to put my little journal tag down here, just on fabric, coffee dyed fabric. I stamped it, and this just glued on to the back, and the whole thing will be glued on to this. And then I have little corner things that I'll be putting on all 4 of the corners. That little brass thing. So that is going to be the front. I will do that off camera, but this will go around to the back, so I'll have this kind of centered. And it does go off the doily on the top and the bottom right here. I'll probably move it up a little bit and have a little more on the bottom. That's okay, it's asymmetrical, and that's kind of what I was going for. And then this helps to balance it by putting this out over here. All right, that I already sewed the other one together, and I've got this paper. I put some lace around it, and I have the little journal sign right there, and my picture. And I have just need a closure yet. And I was going to, I think I have to sew this yet, but I'm thinking if this works, but I'm not sure if it's going to be tight enough. I'll put this buckle on it and get it, tight, and then maybe slip it through like that to hold it. So that'll be that one. The other one is just getting a tie with I had it out before. It has the same green goes to gold, so it's both green and gold on it. So that'll be the closer for that, and you'll see that in a few days when I do a flip through. I'll be doing one more video on making some tags. I have to make a couple more pockets and some tags, and I thought what I would do is do a video using these to make tags so that you can see how I use them. This was when I was spraying the flowers, and so that's alcohol ink on there. And I will cut out some tags and just do kind of a mass making of tags with this. And a couple of them will be larger ones that I can use under a belly band in the journals. And so I'm getting to the point where I'm almost ready. Oh, here's the tie for this one. See how it's green on one side and gold on the other? And then that'll get tied, just tied around it like this. And that's it. And so thank you for being with me if you stuck it out. And I'll see you in the next video. This is Carol from Friendly Quail saying bye.